as the days get shorter and the nights grow longer, you may notice your body wanting more rest. And if you are like a lot of people that I work with in the clinic, you may have some resistance to simply resting in response to your body's clear, increased desire for rest. Maybe not, maybe you love it. I work with plenty of those people too, people who love the excuse to go to bed at 7:30. But I do hear a lot of resistance in the clinic. People don't like that they're tired at 7:30. They don't like that they kind of want to stay in. They think that they should have more energy. They think that they should still want to be as active and social as they are in the summertime. And so they speak of it as if something is wrong, that their energy is different now than it was before, now that it's getting darker earlier and it's colder outside. But really, nothing could be further from the truth. Nothing is wrong. This is your animal body feeling what is absolutely appropriate to the season. So I want to encourage you to lean as far into that inclination as you possibly can, to sleep and to rest and to slow down. Every season in Chinese medicine is associated with an organ system. And that includes not just the organ as we understand it from a Western perspective, but also a whole host of functions in the body and in our lives that organ governs, from the physical to the mental to the emotional to the spiritual. Winter, which we are rapidly descending into, is associated with the kidneys. The kidneys have to do with our deep reserves of energy, what we might think of as our core battery, or like core battery life force energy. And winter is a yin time, that yin yang binary. It's not really a binary, but that yin yang that you've heard of. Yin being about rest, more rest, and yang being about activity. And winter, as we look outside to what's happening in nature, it teaches us about that rest, about conservation, about stillness, about how stillness and rest lead to renewal. And just as the trees pull their energy down into their roots and store it there quietly, waiting this time of year, we really benefit from doing something similar. Our animal bodies are meant to do the same, turning inward, slowing down. And in doing so, it's not for nothing. It's filling our battery from the yin, restful, restorative energy that's available to us in winter, rebuilding our reserves for the year ahead. And sleep is a really key rest is key, and sleep is a really key piece of all this. There's a deeper level of rest and renewal that we can access in winter and store in that battery, especially because it's winter. And conversely, the impact of not resting, the impact of continuing to run around just as busy in December as we were in July, of resisting the desire to stay home or to go to sleep early, this is especially taxing. When we stay super active in the winter, especially when that involves resisting our actual felt desire to rest, that means we're drawing more from the reserves in that battery. We can't rely on the energy of the season to carry us, to fuel us in our activity. So just think about this for a minute. Think about the difference going to bed pretty late and waking up pretty early in the summertime when you've got more light at the end of the day and more light in the morning. And then imagine the same in winter, going to bed really late in the winter and waking up really early. Take a minute to feel into that difference. Probably you can feel that the two are quite different. And that's because the energy of the season in the summertime buoys our energy, so we can ride that energy a little bit. So if in the winter we insist on the same level of activity, now we're relying on our core battery to fuel it. And that's not a bad thing now and again. But when it becomes a habit that we're drawing on that battery without taking the time and the rest to charge it back up again, that's when it can start to become a problem. And it's a problem that shows up in all kinds of ways, depending on the person and their constitution. But as we drain that battery, we start to see chronic fatigue, we see adrenal fatigue, we see burnout, all the symptoms of perimenopause, hormonal changes, mood changes, period changes, digestive changes, you name it. It does tax our body, and eventually that taxation is going to show up somewhere. So as the days get darker Can you think of rest as medicine? Try turning off the bright lights earlier, winding down a little bit earlier, going to bed as early as you feel like going to bed. It's medicine. And then where and whenever you can, allowing yourself to sleep in. This season, more than any other, it begs us to turn off our alarm clocks. Now, we can't always do that, but let's lean into that more than we might when we can. The more you allow yourself to rest now and lean into that, the more vitality you'll have when spring arrives, when and as life begins to expand again. As always, I'll leave you with, please don't just take my word for it. Try this stuff on, see how it feels in your body. You don't need another expert telling you what to do. What's on offer here is to become more in tune with what your body already knows. Okay, bye for now.